Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Nick from Threat X3 Productions, and I'm here to talk about the moment Fallout died for me. I guess first off, I need to kind of explain like my backstory of Fallout 76. When it was first announced, I was kind of like, okay, cool. Yeah, this looks interesting. I definitely was much higher up than a lot of people. I was skeptical, but I was kind of excited to see what they could get. And it wasn't until they had their conference about, what they were going to do about griefers and how they were going to handle certain stuff that I was really like, oh, okay, actually now I'm really excited. The beta came out and I wasn't able to try it right off the bat. So I think it was like maybe the third or fourth version, or not the third or fourth version, but the third or fourth time that they had it up and running. And I was finally able to play it. By this time, I'd already heard a lot of negative feedback. And so by the time I played it, I was like, okay, did they iron out all the bugs? Because I'm not really seeing the same bugs that I've been seeing, the T-pose and a lot of other stuff. And I'm not seeing all the negativity. In fact, I even talk about how it's weird that I don't see negativity. I actually end up saying this on my podcast. But so back to my question, does it make you feel weird that here's all this negativity behind the thing you like, and you're like, I'm not experiencing that, so...
Well, so let me ask you, does it make you feel like you're not a part of the conversation?
It's not about being a part of the conversation. It's about if I was a part of the conversation, they would discredit me and say, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about. And so, yeah, it's a little weird. And I'm like, okay, I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing what other people are seeing. And I'm like, okay. And then the final version comes out. It comes out. I buy it on day one because I'm super excited. I'm super excited to play it with my wife because it's a multiplayer Fallout and I have a really personal attachment to Fallout, and I'm just a really big Fallout fan. And she actually ends up liking it, and I'm like, yay. And then obviously after it releases, there's even more negativity and just more negativity and so much negativity, especially from the Lehman brothers or the Lame brothers. And so I was at a loss in all honesty. It's just, I wasn't seeing the same bugs that everybody else was seeing. And I was very confused as to why that was. One reason I thought was maybe because it's on the PC and I'm just not getting the same bugs as PC. A lot of people on the Xbox were also kind of, and so I was wondering, okay, since the Play Anywhere thing of Xbox, are they a similar code, and so the PlayStation just happens to have 1 instead of 0, and so we just have a slightly different code and I'm just not experiencing them? Or it very well could be that I am just one of the lucky ones who isn't experiencing bugs, because out of, let's say, 1,000 people, if 5 really loud and vocal people are experiencing bugs all the time, then that's could be what the narrative is. And so I wasn't experiencing it. And so that was always how I tried to portray it. When I talked about it, when I talked about how much I liked it on my podcasts, or when I just talked about it in general with friends, it's like, I'm not experiencing these bugs and I don't know what they're talking about. And even after all the negativity and I am trying to champion it, it became harder and harder to defend Bethesda, because then the whole thing with the refunds and how you could refund it at first, but then eventually you couldn't. And obviously the strategy there was, yeah, sure, you can have your money back. But then how many people wanted their money back? They quickly realized, oh no, everybody wants their money back. Just shut the gates, turn it off. And so it was a little hard to defend that. But since I wasn't a person who personally wanted a refund, it was kind of just easy to ignore. I don't think it was maybe right of me to ignore, especially looking back now. But it was just like, well, I don't want a refund, so why do I care whether or not other people can get refunds? It was just kind of whatever for me. Last night, there was this Kotaku thing, which Kotaku, oh, I love Kotaku. They're super good. I mean, all the cops in Spider-Man are super nice, and so that makes it delegitimize the real problem that people are facing. Even though the literal first mission has corrupt cops in it, but yeah. And oh yeah, the prison. The prison where it has all the supervillains in it? Yeah, all the prisoners inside that obviously did something bad enough to get into prison with all the supervillains. Yeah, they're all the same and they're all portrayed in a bad way. Okay, Kotaku. Okay. So I saw something from Kotaku, and it was something about the bag and how it wasn't the same as what they were putting out. And I'm like, okay, yeah, so it doesn't look the same as what's in it. It was literally something I just kind of scrolled past, and it was something I just didn't pay a second mind to. I was just like, well, yeah, it doesn't look the way it is. I mean, I myself picked up Dead Space 2 Collector's Edition so I could get this replica of the plasma cutter. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get the plasma cutter. This is going to be so awesome. Well, I probably should have tried to find it beforehand. I can't find it. But anyways, I thought it was going to be this life-size replica of a plasma cutter when it actually ended up being about this big. No joke, this big. And so, my daughter can play with it, but of course she wasn't born yet, so I'm stuck with this dinky thing that I thought was going to be this life-size thing. And so someone complaining that the bag didn't look the same as what they ended up getting, it was literally something I just looked at really fast, read. I'm like, well, yeah, it's a collector's edition. You don't always get what you get. And I just scrolled past it. And then this morning, I wake up to a whole new world. A whole new world. And I realized that it goes a little bit deeper, and the way that Bethesda decides to remedy the situation was just, oh my God. I was so disappointed. I'm going to pull out my dad card, and I'm going to be very disappointed. And oh my God. So obviously videos start coming out, and so I get a little bit more information about it, and I'm able to read a little bit more into it. And so basically you were supposed to get this canvas bag. It's advertised as a canvas bag. It's not tucked away in some blog or anything. It's straight up advertised, and as far as I know is still being advertised as a canvas bag. And instead what you got was a nylon bag, and the nylon bag might as well be plastic. Oh, this is that's almost what nylon is, this plastic part. There, I just pulled it out. I mean, it might as well be this. So anyways, and so instead of this nice canvas bag that you would expect a postman to have, which is kind of what they were going for, instead you got this nylon bag. And so a lot of people started freaking out about it. And it's at this point when people start complaining to Bethesda that they give their response. And their response basically is, oh, the picture that you saw was just a prototype and it was too expensive to make. So we just gave you this. And then the key words that really kind of killed Fallout 76 for me was, we're not planning on doing anything about it. There was an apology, there was a sorry, but just then afterwards saying, we're not going to do anything about it, was just really kind of tone deaf. And just, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And then they come out with the tweet. And it's like, oh wait, I'll look for it right now. Should have planned this ahead of time, but I don't plan. Okay, so the tweet reads, "We understand and respect that there is disappointment with our bag in the Power Armor Edition. We are sorry. Please contact Bethesda support to provide proof of your CE purchase. They will assist in granting you your account 500 atoms. Please visit help.bethesda.net/app/answers/DE. D's nuts." So that's their response to all the outrage. That's their response to falsely advertising a canvas bag and instead giving a nylon bag. 500 atoms, which I'm sure that you might have been brought to this video because you watched other videos. 500 atoms is $5. So I tweeted back and I'm like, this gesture is for the unfortunate souls that don't watch YouTube or never log into anything. This is the equivalent of scamming an old person. I was a supporter of @Fallout and even streamed yesterday, which I did. I will not support this anymore until a real apology, real is in caps, real apology is made. And then I responded to myself because I thought about it afterwards. I'm like, oh, I got a good one. And you thought pride and accomplishment was tone deaf. Now it's, sorry, we committed a crime. Here's $5. And in case you think I'm overreacting, false advertisement is a crime. So look it up. Now, I was a big supporter of Fallout 76. I was the dog in the meme where there's fire everywhere and it's like, this is okay. I was that person. And for the most part, till the day I die, I will say that I didn't experience the bugs that everybody else was experiencing. So I couldn't bring myself to understand why there was so much hate and where it was coming from. And even though there were bugs, it's like, well, this is Bethesda. These are kind of the bugs that we always get. Why is it so, egregious? Like, oh my Lord, look at all the bugs. Like, why was it this bad? I personally couldn't see it. And I was a pundit for Fallout 76 and I was on their side. And then this happened. A bag. And of course, they try to say it was too expensive. It was too expensive for a $200 version of the game to get yourself what you're advertising. Now, if it became, at some point in the production of it, if it became too expensive for you to do so, then why wouldn't you have said something? In a blog post, in a Twitter, something. Why wouldn't you have said something? And here's the thing, too expensive? Or was your profit margin going to be smaller than what it was before? Is that what it was? Because that's what it was. Instead of making $100 profit off of it, you were going to make $95 off the profit. Ah! I peaked so much right there. This is definitely the moment that really killed it for me. That made me not even want to play the game anymore because I was willing to look past a lot of stuff, and I was willing to say that most of the people who were complaining about it, like Layman Boys or Youngie, it's like, well, they're obviously playing a different version than me, and I'm having fun with it, so you do you, and I'm going to do me. But then this happens, and it all goes to shit, and I'm pissed because, number one, I paid money for it. Hard-earned money. I'm not a big YouTube star yet, so I don't have any money coming from, I can't even have ads on my thing right now. So it's not like I'm getting money in any sort of way to say, hey, Fallout 76 is cool, you should go buy it. I'm not getting anything from this. I'm just personally enjoying it and having a good time with it. And to to just wake up and have such a different experience now just because Bethesda wants to go and pull something like this is ridiculous. And it is the most tone deaf thing I have ever heard. And I just don't get why they thought it was going to be a good idea. Oh, we're so sorry. Here's $5 of in-game cash. The same game that people are trying to get away from in droves. I don't know. I'd like to know your opinion. I'd like to know your outtake on outtake. Boop, boop. I'd like to see your take on it, but that's me personally. I'm officially done with it, and Fallout 76 to me is dead. It's dead. I will never go back to it. Because here's the thing. Even if they did apologize, even if they did fix the game like a year later, Destiny, then me going back to it, me playing it, is basically telling Bethesda that they can do it again. So Elder Scrolls comes out and it's still broken because they're still using the same engine. Or the Space Force comes out and it's also broken and it has bugs like that. I'm telling them to go ahead and keep it up, keep giving me the same stuff, and I'll be fine with it if I keep playing it. They need to know that, hey, it's not cool. So I'm not going to purchase anything until I know that it's good. So day one, Elder Scrolls 6, not going to happen. Day one, Space Force, not going to happen. And I hope everyone else kind of feels the same because it needs to stop now. So I just thought that I would give my opinion on it because I feel like a lot of people who are outraged about it were kind of already outraged. Whereas here I am, a fan of the game. So it's like I'm trying to give you a fan's perspective, somebody who was on the side. And hopefully that could be sort of a different take on it. And so if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If not, all right. So thank you so much. If you like this video and you like to see more, usually we do podcasts, so you can check that out. But we are hoping to do a lot more stuff like this. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can have more. Thank you so much. Have a good one.